Hey friend, welcome home to the Naked and Truth podcast. In a world where it's hard to find the truth, we promise to keep it raw, real, and relatable. This is not your average fitness podcast. We're a community of people that choose to do it different. Naked and Truth is designed for you to own your potential, to live your life with intention, to expand your mindset, and find a community that empowers you to become the highest version of yourself. Each week, you're going to unlock a new understanding of how you can make your impact. You're not meant to be average. You're meant to own your potential. Here comes another raw, real, and relatable episode. It's time to grow. What's up? Welcome back to the Naked and Truth podcast. It is your host, Sarah D, and today we are going to talk about change. I am going to give you the hot steps to take if you want to actually change and make that change simple. I know how easy it is to get stuck in the day-to-day grind where you feel like all you're doing is repeating the same old shit over and over again, but feeling like you are stuck, like you're not actually progressing. And if you want to actually change, you need to take these 4 steps and apply them to your life to make that transition simple. Now, the first step that I want to go into is something that I preach all the time, and it is do it different. Now, I recognize that proper grammar would be do it differently, but I think do it different has a double play on things, right? When we're thinking about any type of action, there is always going to be an equal and opposite reaction. This is as simple as physics, okay? But we need to look at our lives that way, because if we are currently doing something, it is as simple as choosing to do it different and do the opposite action of what we're currently doing in order to get new results. AKA, if you keep repeating the same shit over and over and over and over again, you will not change. I know that sounds like simple logic, but for whatever reason, it seems to be much harder to execute. And I find for myself, for my clients, the more that I can realize that every single action that I am going to take, there is an equal and opposite reaction that will get me an opposite result, makes it that much easier to look at it as being simple to make this transition instead of being hard. I know a lot of people always preach choose your hard, but really it's choose your action. It doesn't matter what it is that you're looking at changing, whether you're wanting to change your finances, your sleep schedule, your job, your relationship with food. When it comes to your relationship with moving your body, it is always going to be either taking the action or not taking the action, right? So what I want is to make sure that once you recognize that you must do it different, you need to assess what needs to be different. So after you do that, you go into the second step of assessing your wolf. Now, I like to call it a wolf because wolves are strong, but they're hesitant, which means that they will hold you back. So I want you to assess 1 to 3 things in your life, aka wolves, that are currently holding you back from making the changes that you actually want to make. This could be something like you are sleeping in all the time. Maybe it's that you have promised to go to the gym over and over again, but by the time you get home, dinner's done, you're like, fuck it, I'm not doing this. Maybe it's that you keep telling yourself that you're not going to skip the dishes, but you never allow yourself to be prepared. Maybe it's the fact that you keep telling yourself that you're going to save money, but you keep overspending your money. There is a lot of different wolves that we could have in our lives. And if we're not recognizing our opportunity to do it different, it's very easy for these wolves to develop in packs. AKA, there ends up being a lot of areas in our life that we could really choose to attack the wolf in. So instead of making it feel overwhelming where you're like, I need to change this, I need to change this, I got a whole pack of wolves, I want you to assess 1 to 3, okay, that are really holding you back from the next steps that you want to take to becoming the change you want to see. Once you have those 1 to 3 wolves written down, I want you to choose one wolf and I want to make sure that you attack it. It's very easy for us as humans to take on too much at once. And when we take on too much at once, it allows for us to get overwhelmed and quit everything indefinitely. I know that you guys have heard the term of having too many eggs in too many baskets, right? Meaning that you aren't ever going to be able to do anything good if your hands are in too many things. So instead of feeling like we need to attack the whole pack, we're going to choose one wolf and attack it. Because when we choose one to attack, we're being specific, we're being intentional, it's easy to measure. It's that much easier to show up and take the action that you need to attack it. And it's going to build that confidence along the way. Because what ends up happening is that when people want to make change, they feel like they need to change their entire world. I just did a goal setting training for my team. And one of the things that I had mentioned is, let's just say your goal was wanting to hit 10,000 steps. Instead of feeling like the next step that you take is taking 10,000 steps 5 days a week, maybe if you're sitting at 7,500 steps, you should increase it to 8,500 and see how that goes for the first week. You don't need to take it all on at once. You need to assess how big that goal really is, how big that wolf really is, and what you need to do step by step to fully break it down. Because a lot of the time, it's not going to be one kill and you're ready to go. It's going to need some repetition. And those repetitions are what's going to encourage you to take more action, which in turn is going to increase your confidence because you see that you're capable. Instead of putting too much on your list where all you end up doing is getting overwhelmed, spinning your wheels, quitting, and feeling like you're never going to be able to change. Now, once you have that first wolf and you attack it relentlessly, you're intentional with the steps that you need to overcome it. You need to also not be afraid to invest for success, right? At the end of the day, there's going to be moments where we need to trade our time for money or our money for time. There is nothing wrong with that, okay? I just want to take a quick break from this episode to remind you that you don't have to feel stuck anymore. In a world where there's an overwhelm of information, it can feel impossible to know where to start your health and fitness journey. It's my life's mission to teach others how to own their potential and keep health simple. You are here for a reason, and even if you feel like you failed in the past, I want you to see success like hundreds of the clients who have joined Team Authentically Fit and have chosen to do it different. If you're ready to stop gaining all the weight back that you lose, you're tired of the fad diets that fail, and you're ready to make long-lasting changes that make health simple and allow for you to look so good you didn't realize it was possible, I want you to message me the words, "Do it different," right now on my Instagram at authentically.fit, where I promise to change your life and allow for you to keep your results for good. Again, you do not need to waste time feeling stuck any longer. Send me the words, "Do it different," to my Instagram at authentically.fit, and we will discuss a plan that is specifically made for you and your success. One that's going to allow for you to own your true potential. I can't wait to hear from you. We can always make more money, but we can't get more time, which means that sometimes in order to speed up the process, sometimes in order to not feel like you're hitting the same wall over and over again, that means that you need to invest to be able to achieve that success. So maybe that looks like hiring yourself a coach because you recognize that this same repeated pattern keeps happening, but you don't know how to get yourself out of that lost translation. Maybe it's that you keep telling yourself that you're going to make food, but you keep repeating skipping the dishes, or keep ordering skip the dishes, or DoorDash, or whatever your vice of choice is there. Your groceries keep going bad in the refrigerator and you're tired of this vicious cycle. Well, how about instead of wasting your time going to the grocery store, picking up the groceries that you're never going to eat, why don't you order a meal prep service that's going to allow for you to have much better quality of meals than you will ever get off of Skip the Dishes or DoorDash or so on, okay? Again, that's investing to give yourself back the time to get yourself out of that same relentless cycle that you're in. Not being afraid to delete apps or have a shutdown time on your phone. Like if you are struggling with going to bed at a decent time, you must choose to do it different and stop laying in front of the TV, stop scrolling on your phone, laying in bed. So maybe this might mean that for the next month, you actually delete your TV subscription altogether, and or you end up making a point where you're not allowing your phone in bed. Maybe you still use your phone as your alarm clock, but I want to remind you guys, alarm clocks still exist. You don't need to have your phone in your room. I'm going to say that one more time. Alarm clocks do still exist. You do not have to keep your phone in your room, okay? So if you feel like this is something that's not only just taking away from your ability to get quality sleep, but now you're waking up, you're crabby all the time, it's now affecting your ability to move your body, feed yourself properly, have good relationships with people, like that would be a very big wolf that potentially needs to be changed and will affect potential other wolves that you had, like not getting your food made, feeling like you're constantly skipping movement because you're always so tired. So we really just want to make sure that we are picking the biggest wolf and we're attacking it the way that we need, recognizing that there may be need for investment in there, but that investment is going to get us farther in the long run and save us more money in the long run because we're not repeating the same things over and over again. I promise you guys, this is such a simple formula for success if you are willing to apply it. Now, once you have your wolf being attacked, you need to continue just focusing on that one wolf until it becomes natural habit. Once it becomes natural habit, you can look at the rest of the pack and see what needs to be improved. But I know that you are going to be so impressed of how the rest of the pack actually loses its strength each wolf that you attack at a time. So it's not that all the wolves lose their strength if you attack them all at once. It really comes down to recognizing how these habits are ingrained and how they're impacting you on a bigger scale than just through what you're losing from that bad habit itself. So if you actually want to change, if you want to become the person that you know that you can be deep down inside, you need to, one, recognize that you need to do it different. That whatever action you're taking right now, you need to do the opposite action in order to get the results that you want. Number two, you need to assess 1 to 3 wolves that are holding you back. Reminding yourself that wolves are strong and hesitant, which means they will hold you back. So assess what those 1 to 3 are. Don't feel like you need to take the whole pack on at once, because when you're making that list might be a little bit lengthier than you originally thought once you start digging deep into things. I want you to take that one wolf and attack it relentlessly. I want you to be intentional. I want you to not feel like you need to swallow it in one gulp. You need to make sure that you are breaking it down to be realistic. Maybe that wolf is the fact that you're not getting any walks in at all. You don't need to start with 10,000 steps. Start with promising yourself a 10-minute walk after dinner. Increase that distance over time and see how just simply showing up in action allows for you to build that confidence and become that person, that change that you're looking for. Number 4, recognizing that investing in your success is not losing. It's winning. It's giving you more. There's absolutely nothing wrong with needing help in your life. And I wish that so many people would recognize that reaching out for help shows strength. Reaching out for help shows your desire for growth. It does not show your weakness. It does not show your incompetence. We only know what we know. We all go through different experiences in life that are going to impact our ability to deal with things or have certain knowledge. That is not a weakness. That is simply just life. So stop being afraid to invest in yourself, to grow yourself into the person you want to become. My true definition of wealth is being able to invest in any type of coach and or program that's really going to allow for me to develop the skill sets that I'm looking for in life, that's going to allow me to keep leveling up. Because just because I don't have all the information right now doesn't make my success any less likely. So don't be afraid to invest in your success. Now, there is a lot of great information here, so I want to make sure that you are taking it and applying it. Information without implementation is just noise. You cannot forget that. So if you actually want to change, take these 4 steps, apply them. See how each wolf in the pack gets knocked down. This is going to provide you with the ability to have structured change in a timeline that's reasonable, that's sustainable, and is going to allow you to see the success that you deserve. So I hope that you guys found a ton of value in this one. I cannot wait to hear some feedback on if you've actually taken these tips and applied them. So if this podcast episode resonated with you, make sure to reach out to me at Naked in Truth Podcast, at authentically.fit. Share it with somebody who you know needs change in their life and needs to do it in a way where they don't feel like they need to take on the whole world at once. I'm super proud of you guys. We're growing one step at a time, and I'll catch you on the next episode. And that's another honest episode drop. Thank you for tuning into Naked in Truth, where we come together each week to own our potential and level up our lives with intention. Don't forget to head over to my Instagram page at authentically.fit, where you will find more inspiration on how I can transform your life and make health simple. And you know reviews are so important for building a community of like-minded people. So if you enjoy this podcast, please take 2 seconds out of your day to leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify so more people like you can learn how to own their potential too. If you love this episode, make sure to share it with someone who you know needs it. Thank you so much again for tuning into Naked in Truth. And remember, love always wins.